Hello artists, I am so excited to share a fascinating artist with you today. We are going to look at Frederick Hundertwasser. Frederick was born in Austria, but later moved to New Zealand where he spent the rest of his life. Frederick was an artist, an environmentalist, and an architect, and he believed very strongly that if we could live at one with nature, that the world would be a wonderful place, that if we lived in accordance with how the natural world wanted us to, that would be very harmonious. And in his art, you can see that nature has a big impact. There are always aspects from the natural world. Another thing that's clear in his art is his love of architecture, but it's a little different than normal architecture we might see when we're looking outside at houses or tall buildings. The lines are not perfectly straight. So Hundertwasser was pulling from nature again, looking at the organic lines in nature. And organic lines in nature refers to all of the things we see when we look at like a leaf or a flower petal. The lines are not perfectly straight. They are curvy, they are organic, they're all unique. So even in the buildings, you'll see that his lines they're not using a ruler, that they're rounded. And that was really important to him. He felt like that reflected what he saw in the natural world. In Hundertwasser's work, you'll notice that his pieces have a very sort of clear foreground, middle ground, and background. There's something going on in all aspects of his art. You'll also notice that the pieces are very colorful. Something I thought was very interesting is that he chose his own name. So his last name was originally Stillwasser, but he decided to change it and he combined a few words. So if you read here, it's hundred means hundred and Wasser means water in German, which was his native language. So when you translate that, you are looking at putting those together as Hundertwasser. And then his first name, he wanted it to be Friedensreich, which means peace kingdom. So if you say his whole name in translation, it's Peace Kingdom Hundertwasser, which is a beautiful name and shows us that he was very connected to the natural world and wanted his name to reflect that. What I'd like us to do today is, after looking at these pictures, create our own Hundertwasser landscape. These are a few of his pieces. If you look online, there are many, many more. So you could use these or you could look and get some other inspiration. But what we want to look for is creating a picture that has that middle ground, foreground, background. This is the one I was really drawn to, and I think it was because of the face. I love how the face is incorporated into the hills with this village around it. You can choose whatever one you want. But what I'd like you to do first is get a piece of paper. And for this project, you need just paper and pencil, and then anything to color with. It could be markers, pencils, watercolors, whatever you think you might need, and just loosely sketch out the image that you see or that you choose or that you have in your mind. You do not have to do an exact copy of Hundertwasser. You're welcome to, of course, but you might just do something that you were inspired by looking from his work. So what I did is I really loosely drew out, see if we can get these both on here, the outline of his work. So I'm just really loosely getting the lines so that I know where to go in that. I want to make sure I get those buildings because that's where my buildings are going to go, okay? So I finished that off. I'm going to jump up to speed that up a bit for you. This is kind of my midway part. After I drew all the pieces in, I decided that I wanted to go over it with a black marker, and then I started watercoloring it. It's what I had laying around, but again, remember, you can use anything you want. One of the things I really like about Hundertwasser is that the colors are many. So even in this section, which I sort of interpreted to be some sort of water, there are many shades of green, there are many shades of blue. And so what I wanted to do was have the ability to put a color down and then go back and layer over it. So even though I've already started this green, I've gone over it a few times because each time I do, I'm adding another layer. I did the same thing at the top with the sky, and the face I stopped with the yellow. I wanted it to dry before I went back and added the other colors that I saw because I didn't want to smear it. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to add another warm color in there to sort of mimic what Hundertwasser did. So again, the object here is to really capture the bright colors and the lines that Hundertwasser created. I really think you will love doing something in his style. I can't wait to see what you create. Please be sure and share it with me when you're done. I hope you enjoy doing it, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.